think it was a really open place to share everything that we were feeling, and that, like, I could share my ups and downs. Like, I didn't have to be the perfect person to them, and that I could, like, explore my faith with them.
No matter what, you can always find a friend. At the beginning of confirmation, I didn't really know a lot of people, but towards the end, like now I know everybody. Like, and we're all friends. We all meet every Wednesday, and we're all happy to do that.
Confirmation gave me that a bunch of girls that like were really helpful, and we all talked, and it was of course awkward at first, but like as we grew throughout the years, like now we all laugh, we see each other at places, and we like talk to each other, and I feel like all of that was just God's way of showing us that like there's more people that like are on your side and all those things.
I wouldn't say conversation, just the people that I was with, like every Wednesday, looking forward to being with them. And even like there was many times where I was busy with sports or other extracurricular activities, and I was like, man, I wish I was there with all these people and like spending time with them, even 4 Wednesdays out of a month, just like being able to connect with them and like hear about their highs and lows and like what they're doing and all of that.
When we had that lock-in, that was really fun. I enjoyed that. And when we made soup for the soup kitchen. Last year, all of us got together and we made soup. Glenn brought the stuff and we made soup, and then he brought it to the shelter place. I feel like God just showed up by like bringing all of us together, and all of the laughs that we all have had and just the time we've spent together.
We just like all connected with each other, and we'd pray together and listen to the stories, and he just showed in all of us. When we went to Culver's and we were just picking up trash before, and we got ice cream or whatever after, and it was pretty good, fun.
It was so much fun. I like met so many fun people, and I got really close with a lot of people that I don't think that I would have like met otherwise, and it's created a lot of really good bonds. And it's so like non-judgmental that it's like I can tell them however I'm feeling, and they'll always like be there for me to talk about.
Our small group was, well, it started off in like groups of like 4 or 5 people, but then we kind of all decided we wanted to be together. So it ended up being a larger small group, and it made it really welcoming on Wednesdays and something to look forward to throughout the week.
All the God winks. There was one time in our small group that he like gave us one when we were talking about it. So it's where he shows like little moments like where you're talking about something or something, and then he shows up and like does what you were thinking or talking about. We were talking about how like my dad's dad died, so my grandpa, and he shows up, like he worked with trains and stuff, so when a train goes by, my dad thinks of his grandpa, and then right when we were talking about that, a train went by and like blew its horn, so that was really cool.
That's cool.
I chose Matthew 7:7, and it's like ask and it'll be given to you, open the door, like knock on the door and it'll be open for you. And I chose that verse because my mom always tells us if you don't ask, the answer's always no, and it's always kind of like if you don't ask God for something, how is he supposed to know? Like you pray for help, and I just feel like you can't do something without trying.
Proverbs 3 verses 5 through 6. I thought about how no matter how stuff goes in your life, you just always have him as your backup, he's always there for you. You never really got to worry about him not being there for you because he'll always be there and have a way for you.
I chose Hebrews 13:8. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And I chose that because it really speaks to me as no matter how much you change, Jesus is always there for you. No matter how far away you go, you can always come back and he'll still be there.
I chose Romans 12. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. It mainly stood out to me because I feel like I often get caught up in following what everyone else is doing, especially those who aren't Christians and don't follow the Lord. And when I was thinking about like being confirmed and like thinking it's a whole new like me kind of, I get to become like my new self and I get to follow the Lord like by my choice.
The verse I chose was Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 through 12. Finally, let the mighty strength of the Lord make you strong. Put on all the armor that God gives so you can defend yourself against the devil's tricks. We are fighting against forces and authorities and against rulers of darkness and powers in the spiritual world. What moved me to choose that one is basically how I think of that, is how it says when to put on the armor of God. When you have God in your life, He will protect you against the evils of the world, no matter what. As long as you have Him, you can get through anything and go against any evil.
I chose Hebrews 12:1. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely and run with endurance that the race has set before us. And I chose it because it like tells me to like persevere through the ups and downs, and it was sort of about running. So like I took it as like I persevered through like the ups and downs of running I've had. And like the past 2 years I've been injured, so like this verse like helped me persevere through injuries.
One thing I've learned is that God always has a plan for you. He puts all of our differences aside and He gives our undivided attention to somebody's personal needs. He will help you through tougher times and guide you through easier times. The severity of your case doesn't really matter because He's always there for you.
I've learned to like always be welcoming of others, and like knowing that like God is always with you really like pushes me to like welcome others too, especially like if I don't know them very well. I just like to think how are they feeling in the moment and like just like welcome them, especially because I felt very welcomed in my group and I was very new, and so like I just feel like I've really learned to be welcoming and be joyful even if like tough times are going on, and just like know that God is always with you.
I want to keep close the like idea that God is human just like us, because it shows like He came down to this world and experienced just what we experienced, and like I don't know, He had emotions, and so like everything that we show and feel, like He went through it too, so we're not alone in what we feel.
The thing that I took away was like in prayer it doesn't always have to be you talking, it can be silent and you can just kind of just like sit there with God and just like silence is okay with God, which isn't always normal, but it should be normalized.
I would pick my dad because he would take me to Sunday school when I was younger and make sure I go every week. And he would take me to church afterwards and still takes me to church. And whenever I have a faith question, he is always free to have a conversation with me. And that's wonderful because I have a lot of faith questions, probably at least once a week. And it's amazing that I have him as a resource to talk to because he knows a lot too, and it's wonderful.
Probably like my grandma, because she just like installed in me from a young age that like God's good and He's always there with you.
I'd say Tara, my confirmation group leader. She's really shown me like all that I need to know about God, and like that I can learn more and that I don't have to know everything right now.
My mom. She's like always been there. She taught my Sunday school class, and she's also like helping to teach the confirmation classes, and I feel like she's just always there. And when I was younger, I always went to like church with her, and I got to see her preach, and I feel like just like always being with her, like her always being there with me during my like faith journey, it's just impacted me a lot, and I'm really grateful.
I'd probably say one of our guides, Glenn.
Probably Glenn Billum.
He's always been like a joy to be around, and it's always fun coming every Wednesday to see Glenn there.
Every single Wednesday, he always has a smile on his face. He always brings joy to my day.
Because he's always such a positive guy.
He really has helped bring together this group.
Probably Sherry, my group leader.
Probably Sherry and my group leader.
And she really made it fun. She encourages us to do peer ministry after confirmation.
She's taught me to become closer to God and that God will always show you love and God will never turn his back on you and he'll always be there with you no matter what.
My mom has definitely influenced my faith. She always encourages me to go to church even if I'm not feeling up to it. She taught me that being faithful is good for my well-being, and she's always there to support me when I need it. I just like to thank everybody who has supported me throughout my journey and who is able to get me as far as I am today.